Hi Java students. We're going to quickly go over some of the programs from doing calculations. So there have been some exercises that you all worked on during class, and we're going to talk through two of them right now. The first one that we're going to talk through is problem number 2 about the amount of money. So for this problem, what you are being asked to do is to store 4 variables with the number of quarters, dimes, nickels, and pennies that someone has, and then in the end you will do some calculations, and our program should display the total amount of money and how many coins the person has. So as a result, that means we are going to need 4 variables. We are going to need quarters, we will need dimes, nickels, and pennies. I am making all of these integer values because these are going to represent the amount of each. So I'm actually going to change the variable, and I'm going to write AMT quarters to remind myself that this is not the value of a nickel or of a penny. This is the amount of pennies that someone has. Okay, so let's say, for example, in our first, we are going to have 6 quarters, 12 dimes, 17 nickels, and 62 pennies. So then in the end, we know that we want to display 2 things. Our final print statement, which we use that shortcut S out, should say you have, and then a number of coins. So this one maybe we'll call amount coins. We don't know what that variable is yet, but we will fill it in a second. You have a certain amount of coins, which adds to, and then we will put an amount of money. So then maybe I'll call that one the amount of money in the end. And those are 2 variables that right now are highlighting in red because Java doesn't know what they are, IntelliJ doesn't know what I'm talking about, and I'm going to go back and fill them in. But this is a way that I am program planning to think through this idea. Here's the variables that I know I need to have. Here's what I'm trying to aim to get to, so now we just need to fill in the middle bits. So somewhere here in the middle, I should have an integer value for the amount of coins, and then I should have a value for the amount of money. Now, money usually has decimal places, so I'm going to have a double for the amount of money that we have. And now we are going to do some calculations. So to figure out the total amount of coins that we have, what we will want to do is add up the amount of quarters that we have, plus the amount of dimes that we have, plus the amount of nickels that we have, plus the amount of pennies that we have. And we add up those 4 values, and your computer is going to go grab the value from each of those variables and do that math, and then whatever that result is, we are going to save into the variable that we have called amount coins. And that'll give us the total amount of coins that we want. Great, so now amount coins is happier with us. The amount of money still hasn't been initialized. We haven't given it any value yet, so we're going to have to do that part next. So to set the value for the amount of money that we're going to have in this case, we need to do another calculation. And this calculation we can do in a variety of ways. So our first take of it, I'm going to leave everything in terms of cents. So I'm going to say 0.25 cents, 25 cents. That's the value, and I'm going to multiply that by the number of quarters that I have, which in this case is that variable amount quarters. And that'll tell me like the amount of money that I have just based on the quarters. I'm going to add to that the amount of money that I would have using the dimes. So I'm going to multiply by 0.101 and multiply that by the amount of dimes that I have. And then I want to take care of nickels, so 0.05 for the 5 cents times the amount of nickels. And finally, 0.01, meaning 1 cent times the amount of pennies that we have. I am doing everything in terms of cents here, or sorry, in terms of dollars. So for cents, they should have decimal place values. I am at an okay place right now because my amount of money variable is a double, meaning it can handle the decimals that I am placing in here. Another option that you are also welcome to do is leave everything in terms of cents and have this be a 25, 10, 5, and 1 there to do some calculations. But either way, we have now calculated out the total amount of money that we have. And when we run this program, we should see I had 97, you had 97 coins, which adds to be $4.17. Now, there was some weirdness that happened if you have a stranger number of nickels or dimes, was the way that people found the issue. So when you have certain numbers of nickels and dimes together, there tends to be this bug of decimals doing some weirdness. My best workaround here would be to leave everything in terms of cents and then divide at the end. So instead, I'm actually going to make another new variable. I'm going to call it come on, computer, there we go, that I'm going to call cents, and I'm going to make that do my calculation, but I'm going to have everything in terms of cents, so I won't have any decimals involved. So this will tell me exactly how many cents I have. Putting a 0 there is a little silly. And then my last step to calculate the amount of money would be to take the amount of cents that I have and divide it by 100. I believe that should fix our errors. Oops. We have to cast one of these to be a double, otherwise we're doing that silly integer division. So we'll cast cents to be a double, and there we go. So that is how we will do this first program that is calculating some money amounts. We're going to talk through one more program, and that will calculate the dinner bill. So we're going to create a variable for the total number of people and the total bill, which amount, and those will be assigned from the beginning. So I'm going to go ahead and delete this program that I have here and continue forward. We are going to have total number of people. So I'm just going to call it total people for myself. Oops, we have to make that be an integer value. And we said that it is 7. And then we should have the total bill. And for us, this is money again. So we're going to let this, come on, be a double. And our bill was $123.56. So there we go. And now our job is to do some calculations. We want to create an answer variable to split up the bill between each of the people, and then we are going to display that amount. So we should create an answer variable that will be the each person's portion of the bill. I'm going to have that be a double because I'm going to want to divide that decimal monetary amount by the number of people, and likely each person will have to pay some amount of the bill, including some cents, so we'll make that a decimal. And I'm going to set answer equal to the total bill divided by the total number of people. And right now, because our bill is a double, right here, when we do this division, we are already getting rid of doing integer division because total bill is a double. We do not have to cast total people to be a double for us. We are at an okay place. Answer will in fact be a double, not integer. We will not be doing integer division. But now we should print out in the end with the bill of, and then we'll put the amount of money, total bill, and the number of people, at dinner. Each person should pay blank dollars, and that will be our answer variable. Alright, so now let's try that, and we will run our new program. With a bill of $123.56 and 7 people at dinner, each person should pay $17.65, blah, 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 blah. So of course, remember decimals in this case, when we take this amount and we divide by 7, things don't work out perfectly and nicely, so it writes out the whole decimal value. That is okay if that happens. If you want to get rid of it, we need to use a format print statement, but we're not going to dive into that in this video. If you want to know more about that, send me an email or stay tuned. Possibly I will make another video if there's lots of interest about that. All right, but those are the 2 programs for today. Stay tuned for more videos coming forward about user input soon.